Hey guys, welcome to PCP Movie Night. It is Horror Fest 2016 and we're rolling right on through. Tonight we watched the classic, The Shining.
Here's Johnny.
Alright gang, that is right. We watched The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick classic from 1980. I love this film. I think it is one of the absolute truly epic horror movies. It is like Stanley Kubrick did 2001: A Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, all these like epic movies that we think about, and this is truly an epic horror film. It's super layered, super complex. If you've never seen The Shining, watch it. Seriously, why are you watching this video? But I love this movie. I got the PCP crew here tonight. Hammertime, Holshoe, Jelani, and the magnificent Brooks. I want to know what these guys think about the movie. John, you're a big fan of this movie. What'd you think about it on the rewatch?
I love it, man. I think it holds up well. I think it's shot so well. And just the set pieces, the music, it's Kubrick being Kubrick.
Oh, yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I don't think I probably share the same love of the film as Mr. Stephen King. But I do like the film a lot. I think it holds up great.
Absolutely. I think the movie holds up. I think it's just it's paced so impeccably. This movie has a sense of dread, and like you said, the music is amazing in this movie, and unfortunately I don't know who did it, but the music is so good. It's so creepy. Like seriously, if you're having like a haunt in your house, or a yard haunt or something going on at your house this year for Halloween, play this soundtrack because it's super, super creepy.
It's very moody.
Speaking of moody, Brooks, you've never seen The Shining ever before, right? Okay, but you have read the book.
Yeah.
First time watching the movie, what'd you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, it did capture, like, the creepiness of this place. I mean, it didn't, get into all of what the book was about. It kind of went its own direction, but it was still good, in its own way.
Yeah.
Aside from, any problem people that read the book may have with it. I just think it was, as a movie, it was good.
So a little bit different than the book, but still a very good movie. Now, we know that the story that Stephen King hates this movie, that basically he wrote a script for this movie. Stanley Kubrick didn't even bother to read it, threw it out, said, "This is my movie, I don't care what you did," but kept calling him all the time, asking questions. Sometimes I've heard at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's creepy.
Because they were shooting in London or whatever. But Stephen King doesn't like this movie, but I do. And Brooks is someone who's read the book, and he likes the book and the movie. Two separate entities, you would say. Speaking of two separate entities, Jelani, what'd you think about this movie on the rewatch, homie?
Man, I love this movie. I just watched it like last year. It's engrossing. I love the character that is the Overlook Hotel.
Oh, yeah,
it's its own character. I mean, each room tells its own story. The hallway scenes, the blood. I mean, everything about it is scary. It's intriguing. It's slow paced, but when you watch it, I mean, you're engaged.
Yeah.
So that's I love this film because of all those things, and I could watch it again. We could watch this tomorrow.
This movie is like 2.5 hours long, but it doesn't feel like that to me. A lot of Kubrick films are like that. Like I'm a huge 2001 fan, and that movie's like 3 hours and something, but like it doesn't feel that way to me. And The Shining is the same way. I think that it's like it has the same kind of tone and feel as 2001. Like I just love this movie. Some of the themes in this movie, there's a lot of stuff that this movie's trying to say. Like a lot. A lot of stuff maybe from the book, and a lot of stuff maybe not from the book at all. But if you watch the documentary, I think it's on Netflix still, but it's called Room 237. There's a whole bunch of theories and conspiracy theories even about this movie. Me personally, obviously there's an isolation theme, but I personally think this movie is about the haunted past, the haunted history of mankind. I believe all these terrible things that man has done, in particular, even like the white man, to like the Native Americans, to the Jews in the Holocaust. There's a lot of that kind of imagery and stuff that's put into this movie. Whether it's intentional or not, I don't know, but it's there and it can be picked up on. There's a lot of stuff that this movie's saying. I think it says a lot about man's influence on the world and on man itself. Like the terrible things that mankind does to mankind in the guise of survival. I think this movie is so rich, so layered. There's so much there, including moon landing stuff. A lot of people think Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing, and this is his admission of guilt in that thing. Anyway, what do you think about some of the themes or whatever in this movie, John?
I think we deal with isolation and then him losing his mind, but maybe he was losing his mind from day one, or maybe he'd already lost his mind.
Yeah, maybe he lost his mind in 1921.
Yeah, it does leave a lot of interpretation. You know, was he crazy? Was it haunted? You know, was it this? Was it that? I mean, you can definitely take away, without talking to anybody else or going on the internet and reading theories, I think many different people will take away many different things from the film. So I do like they left that little open. I don't know if that was Kubrick's doing or if that's how the book was supposed to be. Again, I know that they vary a little bit or a lot. But I just thought I don't think he was mentally all there from the get-go, in my opinion.
Not at all.
But of course, how was she hallucinating these things if it was him that lost it? Oh, and there's so much more to the film. So it's like an onion.
Yeah, right.
You know?
It's super layered.
It's got a lot of layers. If you try to dig deep, it's going to make you cry.
I think it's like any great piece of art. There's so many layers to it, just like an onion that you can peel and keep peeling back layers and find more and more to enjoy in this movie, more and more complexity to find every time you watch it. And let us not forget, like we talked a lot about Kubrick, Jack Nicholson, fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, he is.
The kid, Danny, whatever his name is, fantastic in this movie. Shelley Duvall, fantastic in this movie. Apparently he just like wore her down. Kubrick was just really hard on her, terrible, refused to let people on the set talk to her. He wanted to put her in that state of fear and panic. And it's effective because you feel that in the movie. And don't ever forget Scatman. Everybody wants to be a cat, but don't go back to the hotel after crazy-ass white people. Anyway, Brooks, what do you think about some of the themes in this movie, having read the book and now seen the movie?
Well, there's the Stephen King thing that's pretty common, which is the power of the child versus the monster.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, especially with The Shining, you know, in the book, that's one of the main things is, you know, this kid is special. He has a power. And, you know, in Stephen King books, kids who have that kind of power are always targets for these monsters. They want to kill them. And what better weapon to use against a child than his parents?
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's really cool. I didn't even pick up on that, but that's really cool. And it is prevalent in a lot of his movies. Think about and a lot of his books. Things about like Firestarter and Children of the Corn, stuff like that.
It,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of it, Jelani, what do you think about some of the themes in this movie? What do you think about it?
Man, I think like the destruction of a family. I mean, a family goes, you know, technically on vacation to be with each other, you know, and to reconnect, things like that. I see that in that family. I thought it was innocent at first, and then he just slowly lost his mind. He could have lost his mind when he got the job, but I think that it was just a family, and he was trying to rebuild his family and get his family together, and then just slowly, like her distrust of him over, you know, Danny and that scene in that room. This movie scares the crap out of me. But all of those parts, just, you know, the destruction of a small family. And I rooted for them. But of course, this is Jack Nicholson, and rooting for that to happen, you know, probably wasn't going to be a good thing. So, you know, I took that away from the film.
Absolutely. Overall, we love this movie. We think it's really deep. We think it's got so many layers in it. And we could go on for an entire podcast about this movie. It is so rich, so layered. Like, really, I can't gush over it enough. I think it's almost perfect. It's an almost perfect film. You know, a lot of stuff about, you know, the Apollo 11 stuff, the conspiracy, or the Native American. But overall, look in this movie and look how Jack Nicholson is treating his wife in this movie. And I think it speaks on the way men treat women, the way men treat other men, the way men treat people that are different than them. There's a lot of Native American imagery in this movie. There's a lot of Holocaust stuff that you can pick up too. But I think the Native American thing is really there. I think it's about the haunted history of mankind, also about isolation, children versus monsters, something that was prevalent in Stranger Things, very common themes. This movie's just got almost everything you can think of. It's so good. Really, guys, check out this movie if you haven't. And if you have, obviously, watch it again. On behalf of everybody here, I want to thank you so much for checking out this video. Let us know down below what you think of The Shining. Good? Dud? Of course it's not a dud. It's fantastic. Anyway, we appreciate everything. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And check us out at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, top 5 lists, and a whole lot more. And we'll catch you next time on PCP Movie Night.